How is everyone doing? Um, First of all, if y'all hear me sniffing or sneezing, just know my allergies is trying to mess with me. I don't know why, but my allergies always mess with me. Um, Always in the month of December. I don't know why, but I hope I'm not the only one. Um, so as you can see by the title, why finding love within a Christian is hard. And before I actually start this video, first of all, we just have to understand that Jesus Christ is the only form of love that we need within our lives. We don't need another person in order to fill this void within our hearts. We don't need another person in order to heal us from our past wounds, but all we truly need is Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ is the only true living God. It's the only person that can truly give us the love that we always desire within our lives, not another person. There are a lot of churches, a lot of people who quickly say to just go after the person, especially when it comes to Christianity. You know, as Christians, we desire to be loved by one person. We desire to be connected with the opposite gender. You know, but I believe the reason why and I'm giving you two reasons on why Christian dating is so hard. But one of the reasons on why Christian dating is hard, the reason why a lot of Christians are having a hard time finding love within another spouse, is because we just have to understand that God specifically has a person for us according to his will, according to his purpose for our lives. If you read in Song of Songs, it says, Song of Songs chapter 2, it says, like a lily among thorns is my darling among the maidens. God specifically has a person for you. Yes, God knows what you like. Yes, God knows what you are looking for in another spouse. But God chooses a person. God chooses your spouse according to the purpose that he has placed amongst your life to fulfill. Marriage. Yes, marriage is all about love. Yes, marriage is all about being one with your significant other. But most importantly, marriage is all about honoring God. Marriage is all about fulfilling the kingdom assignment that God placed between you and your spouse. Marriage is a covenant, is a promise. Yes, to your spouse, but mainly to God, to fulfill his will for your life. And and I believe 50% of marriages, of Christian marriages, divorce because they are relying on what man is telling them to do. They are relying on maybe what the pastor or maybe what the preacher is telling them to do as far as pursuing the woman, rather than just waiting on God's timing, rather than just waiting on God's acknowledgement to allow God to send that right person into your life. For example, look at Abraham and Sarah. Look at Ruth and Boaz. Look at Adam and Eve. God didn't just bless Adam with Eve just because. God didn't just bless Ruth with Boaz just because. It was a specific assignment that they had to fulfill. And again, God will give you the right person that is aligned to the calling, that is aligned to the purpose that He has for you to fulfill here on this earth. Because again, marriage is not about us. Marriage is all about honoring God and fulfilling God's will in His kingdom and His covenant for our lives. So that's the first thing. The second reason on why finding love within the Christian is so hard is because we are impatient. In Song of Songs 8:4, it says, "Do not awaken love until it so desires." Meaning to do not rush love, to not force love, to not step out of God's will in order to find love, but to be patient. And in the Word of God, it says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not boast, it does not envy, it keeps no record of wrongs. The key word here is love is patient. Just like God is patient with us every single day, we have to be patient with God when it comes to Him bringing the right one into our lives. Stop allowing these dating apps. Stop following these dating apps. Stop following these dating advices. Stop following these dating trends, all because you are afraid to be alone. All because you think that you is not going to find love. The enemy is going to place this trick into your mind to make it seem like you have little to no time when it comes to finding love. But God does not look at your age. God doesn't look at the time. God looks at His will. God looks at His God looks at His will for your life. God doesn't look at the time. God doesn't look at your age. God doesn't look at none of that. And like I said, the enemy is going to place this false negative thought into your mind to make it seem like you are running out of time when it comes to finding love. Listen, just like God blessed Abraham and Sarai with a child and they was over 100 years old, God can bless you with the right one, no matter your age. So you just have to be patient. We just can't be afraid. As a Christian, we can't be afraid to embrace singleness. We don't be in a rush to find love within another person. Because like I said earlier, all the love that you truly need is Jesus. All the love that you truly desire is within God, not within another person. In Isaiah 62:2, it says, "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen." When the time is right, when God knows that you are ready. You may think that you're ready, but God knows that you are not ready. You may think that you are not ready, but God knows that you're ready. God knows every little thing about us before we know within ourselves. So instead of us fighting with God about bringing marriage into our lives, instead of arguing or constantly praying to God about bringing the right one into our lives, we should be really embracing this alone time with God. We really should be embracing and enjoying this the singleness that we have with Jesus Christ right now. Because whenever God does bless us with the one that he has for us, we're going to have to keep a balance in between putting God first and also giving our attention to our spouse. And that's why God is allowing his children right now to embrace the single moment. Yes, God right now is bringing marriages into the world, which is an amazing thing. But if you truly want your marriage, if you truly want your relationship to be godly to be God-centered, you have to be willing to be patient. You have to be willing to trust God. You have to be willing to go through that alone season. You have to be willing to go through that isolation season, that healing season, so that God can prepare you, yes, for marriage, but also God can prepare you to be the leader for your wife, so that God can prepare you to be the helper for your husband, so that God can prepare the both of you to walk into this purpose and to walk into the calling that he has blessed, that he has placed amongst for the both of you to walk in together. So again, if you truly want to find the one within God, rely on God's timing, because God's timing is perfect. Our timing as his children is not. Don't force love. Don't rely on dating apps in order to find your love, in order to find the one, but rely on Jesus Christ. Rely on God and his timing, and just trust him, because God knows what you need. God knows the desires of your heart. As long as you keep your faith in him, and as long as you continue to seek ye first his kingdom and his righteousness, and he will give you the desires of his heart at his right timing, and not on your own timing.